Silver and gold history are being written right now. We're going to talk about major developments in the precious metals markets. We're going to focus in on silver in the developing squeeze that we have right now. Where will the price of silver be in 1 week? I'll tell you at the end of this video. But also, we have two of the biggest names in the financial world talking about silver in particular, and a big warning that could be good news for you if you hold the shiny white metal. But the most important thing is thank you, you, for being here. This is not possible without your support, without your participation. So it's a big deal when you join me down here in the basement. I hope you found like a community, a little home away from home, where we love to talk. We love to develop relationships, talk about silver and gold. Please, all I ask is subscribe to the channel. I'll give you my sad eye look. That's the last time I'll ask you till the end of the video. Let's talk about Robert Kiyosaki, who puts out another massive warning, not just about the precious metals markets, but about the market in general that we need to listen to. Sorry, guys, we're having some technical static come through. Let's get to that first. But he does say something very powerful about silver. And then again, we're going to talk about the major developments in the silver market that could be putting us into the squeeze town. Okay, here's Robert Kiyosaki. He says this, and again, he's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, very wealthy man, very well respected. He has no, he puts out a lot of his opinions, but does it just for the good of mankind and womankind. He says this, reminder, I predicted the biggest crash in the world history was coming. That was in my book, Rich Dad's Prophecy. That crash will happen this year. Baby boom retirements are going to be wiped out. Many boomers will be homeless or living in their kids' basements. Sad. Reminder, I've been warning anyone who would listen not to save printed assets, not to save paper dollars. Invest in real assets. In yellow. Reminder, for years, I've been saying savers are losers. Inflation turns savers cash into trash. Reminder, here's where we get a little insight into his thoughts on silver. For years, I've been saying buy gold, silver, Bitcoin, and recently Ethereum. Today, I believe silver and Ethereum are the best, because they are stores of value, but more importantly, used in industry and prices are low. Please study the pros and cons and usefulness of silver and Ethereum from haters and lovers of silver and Ethereum, and then invest with your own financial wisdom. That's how you elevate your own financial intelligence and get richer. So what he's telling us, quite simply, in no uncertain terms, is he prefers silver right now to gold, because not only is it a monetary metal, but of all the host of industrial uses, technology, solar panels, antimicrobial qualities, the most thermally conductive, the whole story. The demand profile for silver is increasing like crazy. And on top of that, the supply coming from the mines, it peaked in 2016. They've yet to produce more silver in any given year than they did in the year 2016. So supply is going down, demand is going up, and we haven't even seen the retail explosion in demand. And again, later in this video, we're going to talk about the squeeze and look at what the LBMA is saying, what's going on with the COMEX. It is getting downright crazy at this point. But another big name in the financial world, a guy by the name of Max Keiser. This is shocking. And I'll share with you the reason why, but Max is talking positively about silver as well. If you've been around the precious metal sector for decades like I have, you remember Max Keiser as being a major player in the gold and silver markets, okay? But I don't know, 8 years ago or so, he changed completely to crypto and Bitcoin. And, we'll tip our hat to him because he had pretty good timing on that. Bitcoin has gone up quite a bit. But now, in a shocking move, he's talking very positively again and he's focused in on silver. Let's look at some evidence as to what's going on and then talk about why this is so important. This comes from our friends over at the Silver Academy Substack. There it is up top. Max Keiser reignites the silver movement, and the crypto crowd is following. A lot of people in the world follow him. Let's go down here. I just want to show you some of his recent tweets. Introducing one of the most influential public figures, Max Keiser. He tweeted this recently. Remember, buy silver, crash JP Morgan. He coined that years back. Destroying the banks by buying silver is still a viable play. Remember the silver squeeze on Reddit years back? Here's some more from Max. He put out a poll about if you were stuck on a desert island, what would you want to have? US dollars, Bitcoin, silver, or gold? Those are the results of the poll. But then this is what Max said. He said, having a few silver 1/10, 1/4 ounce coins in your pocket might save your life during the Civil War. The US dollar will be worthless. Gold will likely get stolen and not easily divisible, and desperate freaks more likely to steal your phone than to mess around with Bitcoin. Okay, but there's more from Max. Okay, he's put this out. All right, what stopped the crash JP Morgan buy silver at $50 was the LBMA. And now they are, this is interesting, and we're going to get into this. They've actually came out publicly and said they are monitoring the tightness in the silver market. The reason why that is so important, guys, is that the LBMA is recognizing tightness in the silver market. That is the last thing that they want to be doing. We'll talk more about that later. But here is Max. There's Max right there. Hello, Max. Welcome back to silver. Okay. In a recent interview, he declared the 300-year fiat experiment over, and he's retweeting tweets from David Bateman. Do you know who David Bateman is? I call him the new Hunt brothers, right? He's the guy that has almost, or maybe even more than 13 million ounces of silver right now. And over $500 million worth of silver, and Max is retweeting him as well. All right, guys, do you believe, I'm going to say a silver price, $1,300. I believe absolutely during my lifetime that I will see that. I'm 55 years old, but we had a recent tweet. I'm going to show you this right now from an influencer that brought up a very, very great point. $1,300 silver. Does that sound insane? And make sure, yep, we're on the right screen. Does that sound insane? Well, they point out, so did 20,000 Bitcoin, $2,000 gold, and $50 oil until it happened. He points out silver is finite, essential, under-owned monetary metal. And the squeeze hasn't yet even started. Okay, when we talk about silver, I jotted some notes down on this one because I feel passionate about it. Tell me why not would be my first question. Right? People say, oh, it could never. Silver can go to almost infinity. We could see $1 million silver if, and I'm not predicting this, and I really don't want it to happen, but if the US dollar would completely collapse, like has happened to almost every other fiat currency. If you take all the fiat currencies that have ever been created in the history of the world, the US dollar is just a small little part of it. All the other ones, most all of the other ones ended in collapse. So if the US dollar collapses, I know it's hard to comprehend, and we don't want to see that day come. But eventually, well, I'll leave it at that. I'll let your mind imagine. Eventually, right, the value of silver, the price of silver measured in US dollars could go to anything. So I say, tell me why not? And remember, silver has been there all along, right? It was used as money before gold was. Silver has survived and will survive the ups and downs of the US dollar and any other unit of measure that's not another real asset that you want to use to measure the price of silver. And so this idea of 13, people say, oh, like Look, 2 years ago, I sat down here and talked about the prospect of $50 silver, $60 silver, $45 silver. You don't have to listen to what other people say. Use your own mind and look at what is going on. Realize, right? Look, I don't like it. I liked when this was backed by silver and backed by gold. Let me show you something I haven't shown for those of you who are new. The big reason why I say that is because when you look at this specimen right here, let me get it so you can read it. And I'm going to hold it real steady. But if you look at the top of that right below my finger, can you read that? Yeah, you can read that. It says silver certificate. And then down here at the bottom underneath $1, I'm going to read to you what it says. It says, in silver, so this says $1 in silver, payable to the bearer on demand. Okay, like it was different then. This new stuff, this is the new dollar. They made them look exactly the same. This is just based on nothing. Paper, confidence, promises. I'm not even going to pull up, but you can do it yourself. Pull up the U.S. debt clock. That's what it's based on. $37.8 trillion in U.S. debt. Let's go take a look at it. What the heck? I lied to you. We're going to look at it anyway. Oh, give me 1 second here, and I'm going to share the screen. U.S. Let's just make sure they didn't pay the national debt off here. This is why silver can go to $1,300 per ounce. Right here, guys, up in the upper left-hand corner. I'll circle it for you several times. $37.857 trillion. And if you come to this website, the U.S. debt clock, on a regular basis, you'll notice something very interesting occurs. That number continues to go up and up and up. Okay, let's talk about the reasons why I shared the right screen. There's absolute dislocation, absolute chaos, absolute, I would almost say, I will speculate, panic in the markets right now when it comes to silver between the LBMA, the spot market in London, England, the boys and girls, and we're going to see one of the girls here in a second, in London, England, and the COMEX in the United States, right? They're hitting us right now with all kinds of propaganda. Well, influential news stories. One of them that talks about gold, but I want to point this out because this is what the Financial Times is, the big London newspaper. We're going to look at that first about gold. Then we're going to be absolutely focused on silver. Hold on a second here. Here we go. All right. This came from Wall Street Gold. The bankers are in panic mode again. The Financial Times, which is like the Wall Street Journal of London, just called gold a bubble, okay, and urged central banks to sell their reserves. This came from the Financial Times. The gold bubble should prompt central banks to sell their metal. Nice try, Financial Times. The world is a thoughtless prisoner of history when it treats bullion as a desirable store of value. Woo! Yeah. I don't know what to say to that one, but what I'm trying to demonstrate for you here today is that possibly the mainstream financial media, in an effort to help coordinate a tamping down of the metals prices, we may see some articles coming out that are, let's say, in my opinion, only maybe not factual when it comes to the precious metals. But we do have Bloomberg now. Let's get into the silver squeeze, coming out with big articles and recognizing that we have massive trouble in the silver market. This came from Weimar Silver Baron. This was the fourth highest story on Bloomberg. Probably would have been, this morning or yesterday morning. But he says, I guess people are buying the ETF PSLV to cause this. Since so far this year, it's taken 20,000 London good delivery bars off the market. The PSLV is the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. It's it's from Canada. They don't call them ETFs. I think they call them ETNs. Anyway, it is 100% backed by real physical metal. And here we go. This is the Bloomberg article. Silver traders are rushing bars to London as a historic squeeze rocks the market. It says the London silver market has been thrown into turmoil by a massive short squeeze. This is Bloomberg. Turmoil, short squeeze, driving prices above $50 an ounce for only the second time in history. Benchmark prices in London have soared to near unprecedented levels. That's the spot market over New York, which is the futures market, with traders describing a market where liquidity has almost entirely dried up. Okay. Yeah. So that's the backwardization. That means that when the spot price in London is significantly higher than the futures price in New York, that means people are scrambling to get their hands on physical metal. The squeeze has been driven by a combination of factors, including a wave of investment into silver. I don't think we've really seen a wave yet, at least in the United States. And I'll tell you more about what I heard from my local coin shop yesterday here in a second, and a sudden jump in demand from India. And we'll talk about that, and a dwindling supply of available bars to trade. And then we had this from Yahoo Finance, a different article, but again, from Bloomberg on Yahoo Finance that said, historic silver squeeze deepens as prices soar in the London market. So the mainstream media is beginning, right, to recognize what is happening right now. Our friend Oren, the silver hermit, shared this just to give you perspective on what is going on with silver backwardization. He says silver has entered extreme backwardization, which means that the spot price is traded well above the futures price. Okay, which is very unusual, guys. This chart, which goes back to 1998, shows you how unusual this situation is. It basically means that people are willing to pay extra to get silver now, probably because they are fearful that there won't be any physical silver to deliver in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, this shows how a silver squeeze looks like. And again, that's from Oren Elbaz on X, on Twitter. But let's look at this chart and check this out, okay? This is kind of the normal range of backwardization that we're in at most, right? Actually, that's not accurate. We're more down like in this area right here, okay? And here's the zero mark right here. This, okay, this, yeah.
I just want to correct you. It's backwardation. It's not backwardization.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Over.
I have a habit of pronouncing things wrong, and upstairs, Susie, my lovely assistant, corrected me. Backwardation. Yeah, okay, backwardation. I'll still keep pronouncing it wrong, like I do Vladimir Putin and war and everything else. But anyway, look at how look at that bar. Okay, guys, this is historic what we are dealing with right now when it comes to. I even spell it wrong in my notes. Backwardation? Is that right? Hold on a second. Let's get upstairs Susie on the line. Hey, thank you guys again for being here. I'm so happy you're in the basement with me. It's a cold and lonely basement when I'm down here by myself, but when you're here, I feel warm and fuzzy and silver, right? We'll check with upstairs Susie in a second, but I want to say thank you to our channel sponsor. That's a 5-ounce bar, a real beauty from First Mint, who is right here, right? There's First Mint. You can look them up. They're a silver mint in Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the United States of America. They are owned by First Majestic Silver, Keith Neumeyer's massive silver mining company. So they mine the silver in Mexico, ship it to Las Vegas, Nevada, create these awesome products, and they go straight to you. They don't get caught up in backwardation at the COMEX and the LBMA. No. They never get touched. The silver you get from First Mint, right? Not only is it the freshest silver around because it was just dug up out of the ground in Mexico, but it's also completely free and clear of any of the COMEX and the LBMA games. So you can check them out at firstmint.com. Here, I'll show you their website real quick. And there is a discount code that you can use when you go out to the website. Here is First Mint. Here we go. That's their Folds of Honor campaign. They have a Folds of Honor line of products. There they are right now. These products are super special because they support spouses and children of fallen and disabled members of the military and the first responders community. They support them with academic scholarships. And these are beautiful. They have this American flag, Folds of Honor, and they've raised over $375,000 and funded 75 plus scholarships. That's first meant with these Folds of Honor products that they sell. And if you go up here to their store tab and go down to the second from the bottom, you can find Folds of Honor. But they've got a lot more on their website, all unique products. There's their Hail to the Chief Buffalo round, which I love all these. I have all of them. This is their Las Vegas round with a really cool new design. You can see there. They have the Year of the Snake round, and they have the Year of the Dragon. And of course, they've got bars, all kinds of products. And again, the silver comes directly from First Majestic Silver, directly from Mexico. And there is a discount code you can use, VIP, like very important person, RB, like Ron's basement. Okay, let's get into some more. The CEO of the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association. Things are getting hairy, okay? They're the ones saying that they're monitoring the situation. But we've got a little video we're going to watch here of, hold on here, I'm getting you right to it, when she spoke previously about the silver squeeze. She said, here we go. There, this is from, am I sharing? Nope, there we go. Now you're on the right screen. Sorry, guys. This is from Solve Netug, who's a great contributor to the silver community. This is the CEO of the LBMA in February of 2025. She says this, and we're going to watch her say this. Trying to squeeze the silver market is like trying to drain the ocean. Like you can't do it. Now, in October of 2025, today, with $3 backwardation, it is backwardation. I was pronouncing it wrong. We are actively monitoring the tightness in the silver market. They're getting a little uptight and tight at the LBMA, but let's listen to what she has to say. Let me start over at the beginning. This is only 40 seconds long. And again, I believe this is from earlier in the year, but listen to her kind of smugly talk like, you can't squeeze the silver market.
I thought you were going to talk about the Reddit squeeze, if you remember. It was like the year after COVID.
Yes.
I think my favorite comment from that period of someone saying trying to squeeze the silver market is like trying to drain the ocean. Silver is out there, just depends on how much you want to pay to get it in. If you want to put it on a plane, private jet, that's easily done. It's just most people prefer to ship it by sea for that.
That's a very good point. That's right. And, the people that did that might have been able to move a small stock, but when it comes to the silver market, when it comes to gold and silver, it's quite the other issue.
I thought you were going to talk about
Hold on. Let's pause her. I've had enough of her. Yeah, see, that's what they're saying there. The financial people in London are saying you can't squeeze the silver market. You can't create problems. Well, Bloomberg, as we already looked at, tells us differently. Let's look at the next piece of information that we have here. Again, from the Silver Academy, the LBMA is in panic at the same time that refiners have stopped refining silver. Backlogs mounting. Spot silver now trades above futures, a sign of physical shortage. That's backwardation. Bullion now forced to change hands at increasing premiums. Refiners cannot keep up. And there's Max. We already looked at him, right? Now even he's back in the silver camp. In yellow, the global silver markets are experiencing unprecedented turbulence as physical supply tightens. Refining and financing grind to a halt, and price signals break down across leading exchanges. Reports within the last hour signal outright alarm from London Bullion Market Association, the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association. You guys are watching me. You're not on the right screen. I'm sorry. Let's get there. We're in the middle of this yellow paragraph. The London Bullion Market Association, which confesses it's actively monitoring the market's stress. An unusually candid admission that the world's primary over-the-counter precious metals hub is running dangerously low on metal. Okay, guys, it's and I think that's all. Oh, no, here we go. Oh, this is great. I almost forgot this. So now we've got North American refiners halting silver buying. This came from the Silver Degen Club, right? Alarm. Refiners in America have stopped buying silver. I've received the following message from a very large North American refiner. FYI, the silver markets shut down last night. To my knowledge, there are no large refiners buying right now. Accordingly, we are not able to buy silver until further notice. Bullion is still trading, though. High demand with backlogged refining has caused spot price to exceed the futures price, likely causing dysfunction in the hedge market. As soon as we learn anything more, we will let you know. Wow, guys, the hits keep coming, and then we get this. We've got a couple very important pieces of news from the street, right? People on the street, normal people like us, that also are indicating that there could be some stress out there in the market. But before we do that, I want to say thank you to First Mining Gold for also sponsoring the Ron's Basement gold and silver content. They're a development stage gold company in Canada. They have two massive gold projects in Canada, Du Parquet, which is located in Quebec, and Springpole, which is located in Ontario. These are big multi-million ounce development stage projects. The gold has been drilled, hundreds of millions of dollars spent, defined, it's in the ground. Now they're working through the development stage. It's a very exciting company. It's a company I've invested in before they sponsored my channel, but I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make financial decisions based on what I say. But if you want to check them out, you can go to their website, firstmininggold.com. Thank you, First Mining Gold. Thank you, First Mint, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. Now, guys, look, I'm getting all types of mixed news reports, mixed input from you, and I appreciate all of it about your ability to get physical silver and gold. I talked with a friend of mine who actually works at a Costco here in St. Louis the other day, and I said, "Are you at work?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm at work." And I said, "Hey, do me a favor, go see if there's any gold or silver available." And he went and he came back. He said, "We have 1 ounce of gold in inventory right now, 1 ounce." I said, "Okay, thank you. I've heard that." He's like, "Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too." Then about an hour later, he sent me another text. He said, "Now it's all gone." And I don't think they know when they're going to get more. So across the U.S. at Costco, we've got that going on. What about the United Kingdom? This is very interesting. What's happening in the UK right now with gold and silver. I'm sorry, more with silver. I just saw there's over 1,000 people on this live stream. I'm in shock. You guys, whoa, you're blowing me away here. This came from Reddit, okay, from the Silver Degen Club. This guy says, "I've been stacking since 2013, so over 12 years, and I have never seen this before." And he pulls up a screenshot here from Bullion by Post, which is, I understand, oh, there it is right there. The United Kingdom's #1, I'm going to circle that. Here we go. The United Kingdom's #1 online bullion dealer, okay? And what does he have highlighted right over here? Here, we'll use a different color. We'll use the old yellow or whatever. He circles this. Read this. "Due to market volatility, silver trading has been suspended until markets open on Monday, the 13th of October, 2025. And this was posted yesterday. So the biggest #1 UK online bullion dealer is suspending sales of silver because of market volatility. Yeah, sure. There's nothing to see here, right? Right? But it gets even more interesting, my friends. I'm going to tell you about that in 1 second. Before I do that, don't forget, Dirty Man Safe. If you want to be like a pirate and bury some silver or gold in your very own backyard, check out Dirty Man Safe. Here, I'll show you one right. Here it is. I'll show you one right now. I got all kinds of bags of tricks below me here. This is the Dirty Man Safe. Dirty Man, okay? This is actually called the Dirty Girl. It's their small.
Isn't that the Dirty Girl?
Yes, it's the dirty girl. Susie's on a delay, so she didn't get to hear me. This is Dirty Man Safe. That's where you go. But they have the Dirty Man, which is their normal size, Dirty Girl, which is this little cutie. And they have a bigger one called the Dirty Old Man. But it comes with a tube. You can look at it on their website. You bury it in your yard. And it's the coolest thing ever. When I first got this, I was like, wow. I thought, oh, it's just a piece of pipe with a lid on it. But no, this is robust. This is cool. Like I said, it comes with a sleeve you bury in the ground, and then you put whatever you want inside there. I have a little unicorn right now, but there's a discount code, RON10, if you want to get one for yourself. This is exciting, though. This is exciting when it comes to what we're seeing in the silver market right now. This is actually, you may think this is bad news at first, but I'm going to explain to you why it's good news. So yesterday, Saturday, I called my local coin shop, right? It's a big coin shop, big coin shop, known across the country here in St. Louis. And I made believe, yes, I fibbed. You know what? That's not good. I should have anyway, I said, hey, I'm thinking about buying some silver. I was curious. Do they have any silver in stock? And I'm too lazy to drive there. So I called and they said, do you have any silver? I'm thinking of coming in Monday. This was like Saturday afternoon. They were getting ready to close. He said, yeah, we've got silver. We've got plenty of silver. What are you looking for? I said, probably some 10-ounce bars. He said, oh, yeah, we'll have some Monday morning. We should have our stockpile. I said, okay. I said, have you seen a lot of activity? He said, yeah, we have seen a lot of activity. But I was surprised. What I was hoping to hear is that he'd say, no, we're all sold out. There's no silver. It's gone. Like everybody's talking about. But the fact that they still have some retail silver available, and he kind of indicated that the stock was getting a little stressed, I guess you would say. To me, guys, think about this. There's a reason why that's good news. That shows that in the West, it's happening everywhere in the world. You can't even buy it in the United Kingdom from their number one online bullion dealer right now. That was yesterday. Maybe you can now. I don't have time to check on all this stuff. But anyway, we know all over the world, there's like no silver. We're going to talk about India before we get off here. Guys, I can't believe we got 1,200 people. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. It's free. But the fact that we've not even seen the lines at the coin shops in the
270 thumbs up.
Okay, everybody say hi to Say hi to a few people at the end. I will say hi to a few people at the end. That for those of you who are new, that's my wife upstairs, Susie. She says hi to everybody. She helps out because I'm down here trying to run these live streams by myself. I forget to share screens. Anyway, back to the good news. It hasn't even started yet in the West. And we are the biggest retail silver market out there. Premiums are going up. Well, I misspoke. It's just getting started. That's the good news. That's why I was glad to hear my local coin shop say, yeah, we still have some silver, because that indicates we've got a big runway. Everywhere else, India, China, all the stories. People are lining up. People are draining. They can't even get their hands on silver. India. Well, anyway, we're going to get to India here in 1 second before we're done. So buckle up, buttercups, because we got a big runway ahead of us. Let's go to India. We'll run through this. Crazy. India, 1.4 billion people. India, crazy over silver. Hamza Serene shares this with us. A thread on India just days before Diwali. I can't pronounce these names. I can't even say backwardization correctly. Ahmedabad bullion traders and jewelers halted silver orders. Reason? No physical metal left. Traders refused new bookings, not because of weak demand, but because of a real supply shortage. There's a new newspaper article. Bullion traders, jewelers, halt silver orders as price spike triggers shortage. All right, number 2. India's silver price just went vertical. Yeah, well, I'm going to take your word on that. That's so there's an 18 to 19% premium for physical metal. That means if 20% of 50 is 20, that would mean if the silver price is $50, they're paying $70 an ounce. Let that sink in. People are paying almost $6 more per ounce to get real silver. $6 more. I think if it's 20%, it's 20. But anyway, I won't argue with you, Hamza. Meanwhile, fund houses paused issuing new silver ETF units. Yeah, they put the kibbutz, the ETF. They said you cannot create any more ETF, any more silver ETF in India, meaning they can't source the metal to back new shares. That was a big story last week, right? The big Indian silver ETF said, no more silver, no more. We won't sell anymore. Welcome to the paper versus physical disconnect. Now, look what happened next, okay? India's gold and silver imports nearly doubled in September, according to the Economic Times. Despite record prices, importers are scrambling to secure supplies before the festivals. Let that sink in. Prices soar, store shelves empty, imports explode. That's the classic footprint of a structural shortage, not a temporary glitch. India imported about 410 tons of silver in August, worth 451 million, and still needs more. Even industrial users are competing for supply, making the squeeze steeper. Speculation on what happens next when the world's biggest silver consumer, starts panic importing despite record prices. Oh, did I not share the screen? I'm not going to go back and read all that to you. I'll just continue from where we are for proof. Let's see here. When the world's biggest.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay. Yeah. So upstairs, Susie dropped the ball there. I dropped the ball. That's all right. Starts to panic. Importing despite record prices. The ripple effect hits London and the COMEX. Spreads widen. Premiums surge. And futures lag spot. Spreads widen. Premiums surge. And that's what we're seeing. We are seeing that in the United States. Premiums going up, up, up from the last research that I did. And that shows retail demand is going up. Okay. This isn't just about India. It's a warning sign for the global silver market where paper ounces may soon face their physical limits. Woo, this is a long one. If bullion houses in India stop taking orders while the country doubles imports, you're looking at the early stage of physical dislocation. The disconnect phase begins here. Begins when? ETF creation halts. Check. Domestic shelves go empty. Check. Import costs skyrocket. Check. Futures ignore physical reality. Check, check, check. It is happening. Okay, guys, unroll. All right, thank you. Woof. Great reporting. John Forrest Little says we have a fire up the base. Try to get Max Kaiser back in the game. Well, Max is back in the game. So, guys, everywhere we look, and on top of that, remember the secret weapon that we have in our favor? Nobody else is talking about, right? Right. And that is demand for silver jewelry. I think this Christmas is going to be the silver jewelry Christmas. And remember, 1 in 5 ounces. I said it first. I predicted it. I don't claim a lot. Okay. But I did predict that. And I know it's going to be true that a year from now, 6 months from now, you're going to be hearing all over the place how demand for silver jewelry skyrocketed. And that is a significant component of the overall silver demand picture. I want to say hi to a few people. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pick some random. C130. Good to see you, C130. And who else we have on here today? Okay, Shakik. And the Rios 7018. Brian Nepper. Good to see you. Mr. Good to see you. Kaspa Key. Okay, I'll do it. Just so you can watch me struggle. Throw up a comment. Tell me where you're at, and I'll try to say your name. And I'm going to try to watch this as fast as I possibly can. And I got to ring the golden gong. Hold on here. Let's ring the gong. That's for everybody that's here tonight. Don't forget, guys. And hey, we don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. We could see a pullback in the silver market. Who knows, right? Hold on. Let me get down to the bottom here. But I remain super optimistic. Silvershire, good to see you, buddy. Thumbs up. Good to see you. Charlotte, okay, all the way up. Kaspa Key. Man, Silvershire, why is it won't let me get to the most recent comments. There we go. All right. Ron is the happiest basement prisoner ever. All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks to each and every one of you for being here, right? Like I said, this is a cold and lonely basement. if I'm down here by myself, and we are together, we are part of this community. We're on a wild ride when it comes to silver and gold and the precious metal mining stocks together. I really appreciate you coming down here. Don't forget to subscribe. That is free. Leave a comment in the comment section. Man, tomorrow we're going to talk about $2,900 silver, and like why, when you compare it to the Dow, that's not out of the question. We got a lot of fun things going. Take care. Okay. Be good. And I will see you, yes, you, next time.